Welcome to another episode of Treasure Corals. In my last video I've shown you how I've aquascaped this Waterbox reef tank. For anybody who doesn't know, this is 340.7 REEF LX model and it's 7 feet long. And in today's video I want to address some of the questions that I've been asked in the last one, which are what am I dosing, as well as show you the sump. So let's dive right in. This aquarium is only 1 month old, and as you can see it's looking pretty decent. I have really enjoyed some of your comments, and as you can see I've made a few adjustments. I'm trying to open up all the sand bed, and what I've done is lifted up some of the corals. I'm still not done, but you can see there's this mushroom colony right over here, which is kind of awesome. I've got 3 different mushrooms. The forest fire, I've got this new yellow one that I don't have a name for, and then there's the Recordia on the right, and they are looking pretty awesome. Now, one issue I do have with this Recordia, it's kind of small, and just in general I'm noticing that my mushrooms are sometimes have a tendency to shrink inside. I used to be completely not the case. Oh, look at that, we're dancing here, the banana ras and the flame angel. But I digress. I haven't really figured out. I was really impressed by the mushrooms in Carl's tank. That forest fire was just exemplary. This guy is not too bad, but just not at the same level. So I don't know if it's too much light or too little light. Is it just being new tank? Do I need to feed it? I have no idea. But if you have an opinion, write in the comments below, because I read and appreciate everything and try to implement it. Now, again, it used to be all on a sand bed, and I've lifted it up. Moving on to this rock over here, it's the same idea. I've lifted all of the colonies up on the rock. They're all in the peg, so I can easily move them around. You can actually see one of the holes still there, and if I will decide to add another coral, I can easily plug it in there. Haven't decided what I'm going to do with this bad boy, or this war coral, or maybe some of the other ones. This is going to be work for the next couple of weeks. But I do dig the aquascape. I think it is looking a lot better now. And yeah, there's all this crevices, like where you get the sand going into the aquascape. So I really like that. And it makes it a little bit easier to find a fish of some sort. Now, speaking of fish, and yes, I'll get to the sump in a second, I have introduced some new fish. So I do have a diamond goby, which I have no idea where he is, but he was there last night. But you can see over here, this is my new addition. This is probably the fish I'm the most excited about. So I'll try to focus on him right here. It is a mandarin fish. And the cool thing about him or her, I can't really tell from this angle, I have a pair. So there is a boy and a girl, and they are spectacular. I've picked them up and introduced them after some quarantining into the tank, and most of the time they kind of hang together. Oh, look at that, there is the diamond goby right here. So I just kind of saw him right there. Look at that. Yeah, this is pretty awesome. This is the diamond goby right here. Speaking of sand bed, I have. Whoop, he jumped away. I have this spicy lemon favia that is fully covered with sand. I am not even sure if it's the diamond goby. What he's done, but I will need to do something about that as well. I need to be lifting things up. But look at how awesome that view is when you're looking all 7 feet down the tank. it is insane. Like, I really like that extra space from the glass, all that sand bed, and yeah, it's still a little bit on the brown side, but maybe I'll have to introduce a couple of more diamond gobies. I actually bought two, but one of them jumped, and I'm going to be coming back and getting some more. And look at this Duncan. Unfortunately, that Duncan was too close to this Favia. I think it's Favia, and it burned it, even though they weren't really touching. I think at night it extends its tentacles and it just burned the heck out of this Duncan. But Duncan is going to recover. Another little thing is this forest fire. So I'm getting kind of the same thing in this tank as I used to have in my farm. In my farm, forest fire is phenomenal. It's like true fire, bushy, everything. But because I've introduced this particular piece into the tank while it was still very new, you can see it's it's got the color, but the polyps are all contracted, and kind of changes the appearance. So I might have to take it out and bring it into my farm and keep it there for a while before I'm going to bring it back. Having said that, it just kind of goes to show you how important is the age and maturity of the tank. I don't expect anything to be, phenomenal over the first year. I think things like LPS are going to be great. I think even torches now are doing all right. But some SPS, you can see, are kind of browned out, especially this guy over there. But I am not worried at all, because as long as they don't bleach, all it's going to be is just some good husbandry, and they all going to bounce back. I'm also going to be increasing the light intensity over time. And finally, this is the other piece that I have put together. This is, I've taken every single Monty that I cultivate, and it's all available on treasurecorals.com, especially if you're in Canada. And I'm a big Monty guy. So here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different Monties. The Superman on the right, the Sunset, the Aquaman in the back. This is Fruity Pebbles, and Rainbow Monty, and finally Mystique Monty. This is kind of cool, and over the next probably a few months, everything is going to start encrusting. They're going to kind of fight each other, but this is going to be pretty awesome. I do like this a lot. And to answer the questions about the husbandry and dosing, and I'm getting to the sump in a second, I only do calc water right now. There's just not enough coral here for my alkalinity to be dropping. I do have my trusty Apex right over here, and you can actually see all of my parameters. So temperature, I always try to keep around 77 degrees Fahrenheit. pH could be higher, but I'm not doing anything here. My salinity is, for whatever reason, this actually measures lower. My salinity is at least 1, maybe 2 points higher, and I'll do a whole other video on salinity soon. Alkalinity is 7.9, which is, again, it reads lower than HANA. Calcium 425, magnesium 1364, and I'm using the Apex level to know the level of my sump. All right, let's take a look at the sump, and then I'll continue on with some of my husbandry tips and kind of what I'm doing. Okay, for sump, I'm extremely happy with the sump. Actually, maybe I'll get some extra light in here so that you will get to see it in all its splendor. So there's 4 doors here, and let's start with the actual sump first. I'm currently using the Nias skimmer. I think it's 220. It's pretty awesome. I'm also pretty excited about Waterbox announcing their skimmer. So I don't know, maybe this is something I will try. But Nias, I've been using this for God knows, I want to say at least 7 years and different models. They're amazing skimmer. The only issue I do have with them is that I've seen that the impeller sometimes gets broken. That red piece, that disc around it, just breaks off, and it happened to me quite a few times. Now, other than that, it's all good, and it's pretty quiet. It's running right now, but it doesn't really bother me. Now, the sump itself, I absolutely love. I love that back section, the chamber. This is where all of the water is coming through, because all the bubbles, everything slowly gets through some extra media. I do have my heater over here, and then we kind of come back to this section. I don't really use any filter media. Sometimes I use socks, but very rarely. Most of the time I just run with no filtration. I make these little sections here, the filter floss holders, where if the water gets a little bit too dirty, I just cut out circular pieces of foam and or filter floss, and I just place them there, and then I toss them. There is a lot of filter media, and in this container here, you can see my socks, pretty cool. I have the crazy crab that I took out of my fish quarantine system. This guy is black, and it's big, and it's pretty scary. But I didn't want to kill him, so I threw him into this section, and one day I'm probably going to try and find him. I hope that he hasn't made it somehow all the way up. Now, this section is still empty. There's really nothing. Over here, this is 7 inches. You can actually see that on Apex. I really like this tool that measures the height of the water column. And I'm running the L2. Now, the strange thing about the L2, you can see I kind of have it at an angle, because otherwise I had it sucking air when the water was kind of dropping down. So what I might do is what Top Shelf Aquatics did, where you use an L pointing down out of pipe just for it to suck it more from the bottom. I might do that later on. I do have an automatic water change system, which is my trusty Versa, and it's been going quite well. I love the equipment panel on both sides. This is where everything is hidden, and nowadays you don't even need to go there. Like the last time I actually went inside the panels was probably 3-4 weeks ago. Everything is controlled through Apex and Mobius, so I never really go there. I always utilize the different scenes and buttons and all of that good stuff. Moving on to the section over here, I have my trusty Trident. I won't run a tank without Trident going forward. This is the Kalkwasser, and for the dosing, I actually haven't hooked this up. I used to do a 2-part or 3-part, different ones. I've tried Nios, now I'm running Fauna, but I figured in this particular case I just haven't needed that yet. Very soon, I think once the corals will start kind of reaching the critical mass, I will need it, and I'll be really regretting turning it on, because there's just going to be so much alkalinity that it's using. But right now it does the trick. So everything that you see here is all Kalkwasser. And that is it. I feed the fish quite a few times per day. At least 3-4 times a day, maybe more. I have some automatic feeders that I've hooked up. You can see them right over here. So there's one, and then there is the other. The reason I'm going with Eheim here is just because it kind of fits very nicely. I haven't tried the Apex yet. I may do that, but I think it's going to extend a little bit too much and that would be a problem because here I don't want to cut this beautiful mesh, and right now it just works out perfectly. Those holes that they probably left for the lighting, I am using them to drop all of the fish food, and just overall love the mesh. It's definitely takes a little bit of time to lift it up, but it's not a big deal. Anyways, this is where the tank is at right now. I kind of am digging it. Now, one little reminder for everybody, if you are in Ontario, there's going to be a coral show on April 28th. I'm going to have a booth there, and I'm going to bring a whole bunch of corals out of my farm, which is, I think, warrants in itself another video. Everything that you see on the website, treasurecorals.com, I grow myself. I don't buy colonies and chop them. I don't do any of that. So everything is grown always from frags. And then once the frags overgrow, I cut them and I post them on the website. So everything here is many years old. So check this out. Hopefully I will see you all on April 28th in Niagara Falls. There's going to be a booth, and let's have fun. So if you're going to be there, just drop by, say hi. I always enjoy chatting with all of you. I remember a lot of you folks from other shows. It's always fun to hear about your tanks and hear all these little stories. And I'll be bringing a whole bunch of dry goods that I make myself, as well as corals. That is it. We'll do a whole other video on fish soon. There's some crazy fish that's coming up. See ya.